The year is somewhere between 1999 and 2006. And you've secretly downloaded Napster, LimeWire, Morpheus, BearShare, Kazaa. And you've assured your parents that what you're doing won't get them in any trouble. You've calculated the odds. They can't possibly arrest everybody. The RIAA isn't that powerful. They're not going to break into your house in the middle of the night, wake you up out of a nice sleep and say, hey, Eve 6 needs money, and you downloading a 128 KB copy of Inside Out is hurting their bottom line. So with these programs now on your computer, you're going to go P2P crazy. And you're going to download every song you've ever wanted. Well, at least like 1,000 until you run out of space on your e-machine. But once you make all your burned CDs, you can delete those files and download more. And back then, we weren't going to pay for Now 4. We'll download our own Now 4.
The way that you are. Now that's what I call music volume 4, including Smash Mouth. Like it ain't no thing.
Now that's what I call music in the process of currently being downloaded. And even though you're not the biggest Metallica fan, the idea of downloading Enter Sandman is just kind of awesome. I know that if I change a couple letters, I can get around the block on Napster to get Metallica music. Your mom didn't want you listening to Dr. Dre? Well, thanks to Sean Fanning, we just got a workaround. And once you get rid of these files from your computer onto your burned CD, burned at 4 times speed so as not to burn disk with errors, you hope that when you put it in the car, you don't hear this. My younger viewers may not know what a world without streaming music was like. Back then, finding music was a little bit more Wild Wild West.
Get wet, desperado.
The MP3 files were of lower quality. They would often be mislabeled, labeled incorrectly on purpose so that some other artist could piggyback a popular artist, or be a complete garbage file. The biggest thing I remember about P2P services was the sheer volume of parody songs that you could find. Now, as we all know, if it's a parody song, it has to be Weird Al, right?
Hey, you're right!
He's the only guy in the history of music to make parody, right? Well, back then, I think that's what they thought. You didn't have to be Columbo to figure out that these recordings were very poorly made. Half the tracks seemed like karaoke instrumentals, and the person recorded their vocals with the mic that came with their low-end HP computer. And some of the subject matter of these parody songs used to be things that we were able to joke about, but not things that Weird Al has ever joked about. Because as Kurt Cobain once pointed out, these topics weren't about food.
It's going to be a song about food, because a lot of my hits at that time were.
Before Twitter and all these other social media platforms made it easy to contact your favorite star, Weird Al was ahead of the curve, and on his website would often answer fan emails. In the May 2000 version of Ask Al, Jeremy McCarthy of Fairfield, Connecticut asks, "Hey Al, what do you think of Napster? I just want to know if you approve." And Weird Al would write, "I have very mixed feelings about it. On one hand, I'm concerned that the rampant downloading of my copyrighted protected material over the internet is severely eating into my album sales and having a decidedly adverse effect on my career. On the other hand, I can get all the Metallica songs I want for free. Wow!" Metallica was at the forefront of the anti-Napster crusade, though I feel that they were made to be a sacrificial lamb.
Napster hijacked our music without asking.
I always got the feeling that there was probably a silent majority of the people in the music industry that completely agreed with Lars. But you know what? Why not let Lars say it, and Lars can take the heat.
This month he was hoping to have a gold-plated Shark Tank bar installed right next to the pool, but thanks to people downloading his music for free, he must now wait a few months before he can afford it.
This story leads us into our first parody song from back in the day. This one was called Enter Napster.
We're off to Napster, Napster land.
You can kind of get the idea of how fans and people who were pirating at the time felt about major artists speaking out against Napster.
Make a list, little Lars, never seen a star. Put his fans behind bars. Can't you see? MP3 means you're stealing from me. You should have bought a CD. If he gets poor before he wakes, he'll have to sell fries and shakes.
The questions about piracy kept being asked to Weird Al, where he expressed another concern of his. Bill of Torrance, California asks, "Did you sing the following songs? Toast, Baby Got Jack, Ugly Girl, and Livin' La Vida Yoda?" I'm asking because people download these songs and the title would say, by Al Yankovic. No, 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 and no. This is actually my biggest problem with all the MP3 download services. A large number of the songs which are attributed to me are not by me at all. Some of the songs supposedly by me are, in fact, rather profane, and it disturbs me that some people might be led to believe that I'm responsible for them. Check the discography on my website if you're ever in doubt as to whether something is really a Weird Al song or not. Weird Al has always kind of positioned himself as a family-first kind of entertainer. The kind of guy who's more likely to interact with a costumed Scrappy-Doo in a theme park than to do a parody song about weed to the Coca-Cola jingle.
If you don't want a bowl and you want a bong, take some tin foil and a 1-gallon milk jug. Cut out the bottom, put a pickle in the top. Put some foil around it and fill up the bathtub. Do-do-do-do-do, always smoke a bowl.
Another thing you'll notice from this time frame of parody songs is the obsession with marijuana. We had What If God Smoked Cannabis?
What if God smoked cannabis?
Got blunt.
Got weed.
Hit the bong like some of us.
A parody of the one-hit wonder What If God Was One of Us by Joan Osborne.
What if God was one of us?
Even in 2020, we're stumbling upon wrongly tagged song titles. This is not by the Cranberries.
If God had long hair and a goatee,
He has a goatee.
and if his eyes were pretty glazed,
Yeah, I can't find my cranberry CD. I gotta go to the quad before somebody snags it.
Then, instead of going down to Georgia looking for a soul to steal,
The devil went to Jamaica. He was looking to sell some weed. He was doing fine. They were standing in line. It was excellent weed indeed.
the devil went to Jamaica looking for marijuana.
Now your stuff smells okay, but this could tranquilize a horse. I'll bet $1 million in cash against your stash because I think mine's better than yours.
And the lesson of this song? He got a job selling it.
Cause the devil's got the kind of stuff they smoked in Vietnam.
The other muse for parody artists back then was Sesame Street.
Kermit the Frog here, and welcome to Sesame Street.
We have Sesame Street Gets High.
I'd like to tell you what today's letter is, but I am really f***ed up.
And who would even deal drugs on Sesame Street? Grover?
3, which is how many joints I've smoked today.
Well, I guess anything for Big Bird and Kermit to get their fix.
I forgot what we were doing, Kermit.
Did you just call me Kermit?
Yes, I did.
And with all that pot around, that must be why Cookie Monster went full Fred Durst.
He came into this world as a muppet. Look into these eyes. You see that they are googly.
That's right, he did it all for the cookie.
I did it all for the cookie. The cookie. The cookie.
And Cookie Monster, he got bars.
Big Bird in his nest and Oscar in his can.
And accidentally outs his friends.
Ernie is a guy that lives with another man.
Though it is going on 20 years of me not knowing what sticking a cookie in your yum means.
And me can take a cookie and stick it in my yum. Stick it in my yum. Stick it in my yum.
And I looked on Urban Dictionary. That's not some term that the kids were using.
Does Elmo have me cookie? Does Gordon have me cookie? Who has got me cookie?
Oh, he's coming down from his cookie high. Let's calm our rock down. Let's play a little Aerosmith instead.
Elmo's got a gun.
Elmo's got a gun.
Big Bird's on the run. Ernie's dialing 911.
Now this I would understand somebody confusing for Weird Al.
They say when Elmo was
The recording is actually of a decent quality, and this is a subject matter that Weird Al has gone down before with The Night Santa Went Crazy.
And he barbecued Blitzen, and he took a big bite and said it tastes just like chicken.
You would just have to ignore the fact that this singer sounds nothing like Weird Al.
I hear the Gordons really running, now the Elmo's got a gun, the street is never gonna be the same. But now Vixen's in therapy, and Donner's still nervous.
And it got so bad that at one point, Weird Al had to make a list on his website to debunk many of these parody songs that were attached to him. I remember one of these sites coming from the Alcoholics Forum. That's a forum for Weird Al fans, not for alcoholics. As far back as 2001, there were sections addressing file-sharing sites on these forums. I found some song on Napster, Morpheus, Kazaa, etc. that says it's by Al. Is it really? People tend to just assume anything funny is by Weird Al, even if it's really bad. Other people write parodies besides Al. But since they're worthless nobodies, much like yourself, they don't get the credit. The only true way to tell if a song is by Weird Al or not is to go out and buy all the CDs in Al's catalog. Everything else is just a wasted download. Weird Al superfans are a little intense. I've found some songs on the internet that are supposedly by Al, but I've never heard them on any of his albums. What the hey? Unfortunately, there are a lot of song parodies floating around the internet being attributed to Al, which were in fact done by somebody else. If you want to verify whether or not a song is actually by Al, check the catalog page. I'm almost kind of astonished by how many people actually did think these were by Weird Al. So let's take a look at some of these songs that supposedly fooled people. Oops, I'm Pregnant Again, a Britney Spears parody. And since I can't go as far back as 2000 to see people's comments, let's just look at this really old upload from YouTube.
But you came too quick. Oh baby, baby, oops, I'm
We got a bad
such
mic,
a big slut.
bad
You
singing.
busted your nut, and now I'm
The singer is
pregnant.
offbeat.
That night you seemed real glad.
Stop
But
that!
now you're a dad. Wishing that you
Stop
had
that!
come in my company.
And has
Yeah,
quite
you
edgy
might
subject
have
matter.
AIDS. I blew 6 of your friends all in that same day.
Oh, and there's this one thing that Weird Al isn't. That's right, a female singer.
I said I had my tubes tied.
Stop that!
And guess what, baby, I like.
Stop
baby,
that!
oh, oops,
No,
I'm
stop
pregnant
that!
again.
And a lot of these are from the late 90s, early 2000s bubblegum pop era. Like when the biggest controversy about Britney Spears was that maybe she had breast surgery.
Oh, booby, booby. My
Make
chest
my
was
boobies one more
supposed
size.
to grow. My cleavage wasn't right, though.
So what biting social commentary did this parody have?
I want to be a D. Bigger memories. I want them to show now. No because.
You know, all the puzzle pieces are starting to add up on how somebody like Britney Spears could snap from all the pressure.
I must confess, I paid for these. Paid for these.
Well, I'm glad she didn't steal them.
Rolling Stone was naughty. See me, baby, barely wearing clothes now because.
Now, if you weren't around during this time period, Britney Spears had a scandalous photo shoot for the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. People were up in arms about a young girl being, well, posed like this. I was more confused about the random Teletubby. And that teen pop scene was red hot, so you got a lot of parodies coming out of it. Like a parody of the Backstreet Boys' I Want It That Way.
But we don't want to be mean, since now he's a queen.
Entitled, Which Backstreet Boy is Gay?
Which Backstreet Boy is gay?
And as of 2020, it appears
Saying that it's AJ.
none of them were. In a 2013 Huffington Post article, A.J. McLean stated that the idea that one member of a boy band is gay isn't correct. But I guess they were correct with this lyric.
Now I can see him, he's in women's clothes, but he don't need an IUD, yeah.
Many of these song parodies would be considered very problematic today.
Ain't nothing but a fruitcake. Okay, we're okay.
And even back then, you could tell that Weird Al wanted nothing to do with this. Another boy band to get a lot of parody songs was LFO and their hit song, Summer Girls.
Fell deep in love, but now we ain't speaking. Michael J. Fox was Alex P. Keaton.
While I couldn't find all the Summer Girl parodies from back then, I do remember Hummer Girls. So in honor of Rich Cronin, let's listen to a little bit of Hummer Girls.
New kids on the block sucked a bunch of dick. Chinese girls make head sick.
Well, they're canceled.
And I think it's fly when girls drop down and get hummers. I'm
done.
You remember your first orgasm? Body was twitching like a muscle spasm.
Just a couple of guys waxing nostalgic about getting blowjobs and insulting Prince.
Felt so good you cannot explain. Prince sounded like a bitch in Purple Rain. Always need a girl to hug and kiss. Big Bird had a friend named Snuffleupagus.
Oh, geez, even in a sex rap, I can't escape Sesame Street.
Like Pam Anderson on Tommy Lee. These girls suck like shows on the WB.
Oh, fuck you. Dawson for life.
And you better not have buck teeth. I'd rather get head from that kid Buckwheat.
Why don't you take a seat over there? Alright, does this get any better?
We hate Scooby-Doo, but we always roll with Shaggy.
No, it doesn't. Back then, it was a lot more carefree. Our biggest concern was finding out who the perpetrator of letting a canine loose was. That's right, we really needed to know who let the dogs out. But what we should have been asking is,
Who let them cows out? Moo, 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 moo. Who let them cows out? Moo, 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 moo.
Now this, I could see Weird Al doing.
Get back, bossy, bad bossy, get back, you cut-chewing animal.
And if you want to know who let the cows out, the mystery was already solved. It was the lazy farmer. He took a nap on the job.
Farmer tells his wife that he is angry, for the ranch hand's losing all his bovine.
Oh, and now he's going to blame his staff because he's
He
incompetent.
saw they let loose all of his swine, and the farmer shouted, Who let them hogs out? Who let them hogs out?
This whole place seems like a really badly run operation. If you thought, hey, Barbie Girl by Aqua is too serious of a song, well, we have a parody called Ugly Girl.
I'm an ugly girl, my face makes you hurl. Sad I have it, I should bag it.
You know, I'm kind of having a hard time gauging how ugly the ugly girl is supposed to be.
I'm a relation to Frankenstein's creation.
You're so ugly, you disgust me.
Frankenstein's creation makes her sound like she's a complete train wreck.
I'm a bland, homely girl, all alone in the world. I'm as flat as a board, thin and lanky.
But now she's described as bland and homely, which, you know, Frankenstein's creation, bland and homely, hot. It'd be like going from the monster to Anne from Arrested Development.
You're a dog and a troll. Were you hit by a train? Don't go near you cause your breath is skanky.
And how can somebody's breath be described as skanky?
Don't get touched, I'm afraid. Cause guys say I'm an eyesore.
Poor ugly girl. If she was 20 years into the future, she'd have a whole line of white knights looking to defend her.
Oh, let's go out and have some fun.
And our singer kind of sounds like Cree Summers.
I hug you and squeeze you and kiss you and put coins in your eyes.
I'm sorry, but you're too damn ugly.
Oh, screw you, Ken.
Who's Ken to talk? He has no penis. Up until now, you could probably say that besides Weird Al, there's no money in parody music. Occasionally, you get a lower tier artist or a radio station producing this content, but it's mostly amateurs. So the weirdest thing was when Barry Williams, aka Greg Brady, made his own official Eminem parody.
I repeat, may I have your attention, please? Will the real Greg Brady please stand up?
That's me, of course, Barry Williams.
And I gotta be honest, even though I remember downloading it pretty easy back in the day, this parody was a lot harder to track down and download again.
Barry Williams. Barry Williams. Uh-oh, we're gonna have a problem here. Y'all act like you'd never seen a real Brady before.
Like somebody was hoping that this stayed buried. Barry Williams was sick of it. He was sick of all the imposter Greg Bradys. He wanted to let the world know about all the blowjobs he got.
It was cool for a while being a teenage star with all the heartthrobs and girl sobs and fan mobs and jobs, and Cindy had a list.
He had sex with women.
It was so much fun making that show for you, and then writing my book too, telling you who was dating who.
Even his fake TV mom.
Like who was gonna say that the dad was really gay or that my mom on TV was dating me? Tee.
Those other teen pop idols from the 70s, those guys were chumps.
And better looking than David Cassidy too. I am not Donny Osmond. Or Bobby Sherman, or Michael Jackson. People mix me up with him all the time.
Some of these parodies even got political, because we all know how much we love politics in our music. Were you looking for the Men in Black?
It's the MIBs. They call them MIBs.
What about the Men in Brown?
UPS men dressed in brown all over town. Come to your door, face to face, lay the package down.
In the late 90s, UPS drivers were gonna strike.
You don't see them now cause they're all gone. Walking picket lines cause the strike is on. They're peaceful, won't resort to violence, but they won't do their jobs and sit back in silence.
They wanted better conditions.
Don't have to worry about the dogs that bite. Camera zoom on the impending doom. Better not be expecting a package soon.
Doors on the side of their truck.
And while you're at it, put doors on the trucks. Yeah, you heard me.
Another way that you could have known that this parody wasn't by Weird Al is his aversion to weighing into politics. In an Ask Al Q&A for November 1998, he wasn't ever going to touch on the topic of Bill Clinton. But Paul Shanklin would.
Cause he's just plain dumb, and I wonder if he's ever had a conscious moment in his whole life.
And he thought the world needed to hear Bill Clinton sing Sheryl Crow.
Cause all I've gotta do is have some fun. Pick up some cheerleaders, cruise on Air Force One.
Alright, I can't take any more of that.
Until the sun goes down on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Weird Al may not want to sing about Bill Clinton, but Uncle Luke and the 2 Live Crew will touch that subject matter.
Monica?
Yes, Bill?
Monica, what would you do for a job here at the White House?
I'd do anything, Bill.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They even parodied their own song. Me So Horny became Bill So Horny.
Gore always ask him why he sex so much. It's the perks of being pressed. You always get a nut.
And I honestly never want to hear about Al Gore having sex ever again.
Since you're married to Dipper, you shouldn't be sad. Don't tell Hillary so she won't get mad.
Then in the trip, cause I hate that bitch.
For pretty much everybody under the age of 40, Linda Tripp was the person who gave over a secretly recorded conversation with Monica Lewinsky to an independent prosecutor, a pivot point in the investigation of the president.
I even got her own tape sucking on my dick.
We had a version of the Chipmunks Christmas song sang by Homer Simpson, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Bill Clinton.
Christmas, Christmas time is here. Time for toys, time for beer. Little presents all wrapped up. Make mine good or I'll blow you up.
Or maybe you'd like to learn a little history, set to the music of Chumbawamba.
Selling millions of Chumbawamba albums with one good song was an economic boom.
Let's hunt him down and shoot him in the head. Let's beat the crap out of Saddam. Let's hunt him down and shoot him in the head and bomb Iraq into the ground.
Now if he does attack, we're gonna drop a stack of missiles on Iraq and get him off our back. And if he won't let us look for all his nerve gas, the US Army is gonna kick him in the ass. In the ass.
Another one-hit wonder whose song was constantly parodied was Lou Bega's Mambo No. 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, where is Bimbo number 5?
Which Bill Clinton would use to tell us about Bimbo No. 5.
Are you ready for the Billennium?
And you thought Will Smith was corny for naming his CD Willennium.
Girls want to do the president, but really don't want to get caught like I did last year.
The song will help you remember every girl that Bill Clinton was fooling around with.
I had Monica, Jennifer, Paula, and Kathleen, and maybe 5 other girls in between.
Or they think he would have wanted to fool around with.
Maybe Miss America will come and play. A little bit of Britney would be nice. A little bit of Hillary, I'm on ice.
But come on, we all had a crush on Britney. Would you like a musical reminder of the Boston Red Sox of 1999?
Nomar, number 5.
You remember Nomar Garcia-Parra. He was really, really good.
We got Nixon and Daubach, and they're still hot. And Saberhagen and Valentin should be here, but they're not.
Until he just kept getting injured.
And now we got Manny, but his hamstring's lame. And Hill and Brandon Steins, they made the cuts. And then there's Carl Everett, but he's half nuts. And what about Nomar's injured wrist?
At least you didn't have to do the Red Sox lean back.
Reavers, Kepler, the curse, Bellhorn. All my Red Sox fans, it's alright to dance, cause we blew the Yanks away. Minkiewicz, Reavers, Miller, the curse, Wakefield, Reavers, Folk, the curse, Barrett, come on.
And a parody song based on current sports events?
Ortiz, make your pictures look sloppy. Why you think Beantown nicknamed the Big Poppy?
Yeah, that has like a 1-week shelf life.
And you guys can keep A-Rod. He's not that good anyway.
Except for this Mike Tyson parody set to How Bizarre by OMC.
I was boxing with Evander. I was going in my own pace, looking like a bulldog with my squunched up face.
This one's just timeless.
Things got kind of rough. He butted me in my eye. Suddenly I got hungry, and his head looked like a pie, so I bit his ear. Oh, everyone starts yelling, but I was having fun, and just like Lay's potato chips, I can never eat just one.
Let's move on to Rice Rice Baby, a parody of Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby.
Rice, rice, baby. Rice, rice, baby.
And I guess Weird Al actually knew this musician.
All right, stop. Grab a table and a menu. Ice is back in this oriental venue. Hungry.
This guy actually has a pretty good flow.
Barbecued spare ribs, my fingers I'm licking. Waiting for the main course, Kung Pao chicken. Spicy. I mean hot like a stir fry. If you can't take it, order Moo Goo Guy Pan.
I could actually see Weird Al writing something like this. Except for this part.
Egg rolling with egg bouillon. My dinner is cooking like Connie Chung.
But I was raised with cold winters, so I need something a little bit more relatable.
Hey guys, stop. Grab your bait and listen. Ice is on the lake, so we're going fishing. With me is my best friend Mike. We're hitting Lake Boygan for the trophy fight.
So to all my homies with an ice shack, Shad Rap has got us covered with Ice Fish Baby. Not enough rappers tackle the headaches that can come up while you're trying to ice fish.
Drilling, the ice is half a foot thick. My gas-powered ice auger ought to do the trick. If I want to eat crepe, I gotta catch dinner. Drop my line in the hole with the minnow and the spinner.
The recording industry of America really tried to crack down on the amount of piracy.
And it's so easy to get music. We just download it.
For his CD Straight Out of Linwood, Weird Al put out a free downloadable song called Don't Download This Song. The subject matter of this song kinda gives you both perspectives.
We'll sue you if you burn that CD.
Even pointing out it's bad optics to sue a little girl.
Doesn't matter if you're a grandma or a 7-year-old girl. We'll treat you like the evil, heart-bitten criminal scum you are.
Parodying music has gotten much easier. Well, many of these parody songs that I took a look at today are crude. They walked so that artists like this guy could run.
Kissed the squirrel, yeah, I liked it. A taste of his acorn chapstick. I kissed the squirrel just to try it. Nut lover, you can't deny it.
I could always talk about take a leak.
Take a leak in the shrubs, in the tub, in a bottle, behind the club, in a cup, in the park, in your bed, in the dark. Take a leak, porta potty, in an alley, in your pants.
Which I left out of the original script, but it was a P.D. Pablo parody. You remember P.D. Pablo? Take a leak. Want to listen to a little Take a Leak?
Or in the bathroom, R. Kelly wants to do it on you.
Hey, it's Joe from VCAM TV Studios. Like, click, and subscribe. Obviously, there is a suggested video that I think closely resembles what you just watched. A playlist that, you know, if you checked out, I think you would enjoy.